I work in tech, and normally we are stereotyped as nerds, and nerds are stereotyped as weak. If you work in tech, you don't have to be weak. You could be balanced with strength and intelligence as well. When I was out of shape, I felt ashamed of myself. I felt soft, weak. I couldn't stand what I looked like. I had love handles. My belly was popping. I could barely do exercises. And it made me feel depressed. And I felt aimless. I didn't have any goals. And as a man in technology, we're supposed to be intelligent and to be able to balance our lives and to be able to lead. And I also felt like I had to go sit in a corner essentially because I didn't feel like talking to people or eating with them. I felt antisocial. But as I started working out, I got a personal trainer and I started to get stronger. I built my confidence and it actually made me happier because it gave me goals. Based on that Psycho-Cybernetics book, if I don't have goals, I will embrace the dark side. I will want to delete. Versus if I have goals, personal, professional, I would embrace life. I would be more livelihood. I would show care instead of being apathetic. And I also have a better outlook on life. I'm more optimistic. I have gratitude. I'm thankful for a lot of things. I was in a live call early last week, and one of the speakers, Anthony, he was saying, I have to be the hero of my story, of my life, because if I could look at all of the mental blocks that I had overcome, for example, I'm 5'6.5", and I'm short compared to the average person in the United States. However, I could work on my fitness, I could work on my intelligence, my charm, I could get hobbies. It doesn't diminish my value. It is what it is, and at least I could walk, because there are shorter people. There are people that cannot walk. Unfortunately, I used to work in a nursing home, and I had to take care of certain people where they couldn't eat, they couldn't walk, they couldn't talk, and it humbles because I would take these things for granted. These basic things. For example, if I was sick, I would feel weak. I would feel soft. I wouldn't want to eat, versus when I'm healthy, those are things that I'm taking for granted. So see your small wins, the small blocks that you've accomplished, and that's how I could empower myself. We're all kids in society, and even this car, it's a toy. My computer, my phone, it's a toy. And I'm trying to get love. I'm trying to reach out to other people, to network, to see what I can learn, to share with other people, to try and teach them, because I am a student and I am a teacher, because if I am trying to share something with you, I'm reteaching it to myself. I'm pretty sure everybody has trauma from the past, and it's important to understand how that past trauma has affected me into my adulthood, and all of the programming from school, family, church, religion, society. Do I still agree with it? I would have to love my story and who I am so that I can speak to other people and share with them. Because if I am comparing my story to someone else, then I won't feel worthy. And I am worthy, because I've accomplished a lot in my life, whether it's trying to learn how to speak better or get into better shape, or to create friend groups, or to be more entrepreneurial. It's all a work in progress. I used to think tracking my macros was a lot of work because I was lazy, straight up. I was inconsistent. And these are things that made me feel incompetent, unworthy. I was self-sabotaging myself because my focus wasn't there. And with my coach, I'm accountable to him. I have to take pictures of myself. I have to weigh in on Sundays. He's keeping track of my physique, my weight, my diet, those kinds of things. And if famous people have coaches, I should have a coach too, so I could try and be the best of who I can be. Also, if you think of successful people and successful businesses, they network. They work with other people, other entities. They use tools. For the longest time, I was thinking, I don't need a coach. I was being cheap. I was essentially saying I'm unworthy of spending this money on myself to look good. And that was one of the biggest mistakes that I've experienced for the past 2 years, because I am worthy of the amount of money that I'm spending. And it goes back to like education, right? If you guys went to university, if you guys play a sport, you need to invest in self, such as shoes, clothes, gloves, gym membership, books, those kinds of things. And it doesn't change when we get older. It's similar. The focus is more on what I want to learn about versus what a school is going to teach me. Because I needed to reprogram myself to believe that I can achieve anything that I am capable of working for. When I was younger, I thought I was stupid because my reading wasn't that good. I didn't like reading. That was a false belief, because once I found the self-development books, I liked reading because it was something that interests me. I felt a lot of pain in my past from feeling unintelligent, from not having goals, from not trusting myself. My parents grew up in Vietnam and they got programmed by the communists, essentially. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. And I think Asian culture, it is good, but then there's certain areas where it's not that good. For example, to be outspoken, to be social, to be less reserved, to be more genuine, to focus on, to be more selfish. There's pros and cons to certain things, and I am responsible for how my life turned out, whether it's good or if it's bad. I'm pretty much trying to save my life, because for the first 40 years, for the first half of my life, I was my biggest enemy. I hated myself. I hated my eyes, my skin. I hated my height, what I looked like, what I sounded like. I didn't know how to love myself because I didn't grow up with my mother. And these are things that I had to learn. Phuong, I love you. I love myself. It's because of the things that I'm doing that proves that I do love myself. And I hope that you guys can say you love yourself as well. You're treating yourself properly. You're not eating junk food, drugs, alcohol, gambling. You're surrounding yourself with positive people. Sometimes you would have to reduce the amount of time you spend with family. Sometimes you would have to cut out you lose your friends, unfortunately, because I'm not the same person that I was in 2020. It's all good. It's nothing personal. I don't blame my parents for the way things turned out, because that's how they grew up. I don't blame my brother for being distant, because I am distant as well. I could see my own faults, and I am far from perfect. Even at 41 and a half, I still have so many problems, and there's so many things that I want to work on. I want this second half of my life to be the best life. I no longer want to delete. I no longer want to feel like I have to delete, because it's the programming that I saw as a kid. I would experience some racisms. I would attract it to me as well. I'm responsible because I was weak mentally, emotionally, and physically. Only when I got bigger, stronger, was when people started to respect me more. I started to respect myself, because how I felt inside, my emotions, I had to learn how to allow them to exist, because the pain, I just felt like death whenever I thought about my mother, because she bounced when I was like 3 months. I had to unlock my emotions and experience them and not run away. because how I feel, how I think in my imagination it is important. It's as important as physical reality. Because I could say I'm a king, I'm God's son. Am I a king in real life? No, I am not. Am I God's son? In my heart and in my mind, I am. And there's nothing that you could tell me to tell me different. How do you guys use your stories to empower you? Are you aware of your habits? Are you doom scrolling on useless social medias? Are you escaping from books, Harry Potter, movies? You know, it's a better return on investment to work on yourself so that your life would be better going forward versus trying to escape. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. I'll check you guys another time. Peace.